Welcome back for another episode of Rinks and Realities, powered by the LI Sports Network. Your hosts here, Travis Quigley and Paul Trentini. And Paul, our guest today, great timing to bring him on because we've got the New York Islanders High School Hockey League starting up this Sunday, November 9th. And our guest today played for the reigning, defending Long Island champion, Belmore Merrick Bulldogs, and he's currently a beat writer for the New York Islanders, NHL.com, the Elmonters, and the Hockey News, Stefen Rosner. Stefen, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us on the pod.
No, I appreciate it, Paul. I didn't know you had a last name. It's not on the screen. I just think you're just Paul.
Yeah, common misconception.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on. And we do this with all of our guests. We take it back to the beginning, and we try to start and find out from our guests, where did that first love of hockey come from? When did you really first put on the skates? And was there anybody in your life, any particular influence that, helped you influence you into hockey and help you fall in love with it?
Yeah, so I'll start with my dad. He was born in 1970. He got to grow up on Long Island, diehard Islander fan, got to go to all the cup parades. And then the dark age for the franchise. And when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I remember he took me to my first game at the Coliseum. I don't remember who the game was against, but it was Mike Pekka mini stick giveaway night. And I still have the Mike Pekka wooden. I think I played with the stick instead of watching the game. They probably got killed. But it was bad. And then a couple of years went by, and my dad kind of fell out of favor. He just stopped watching. And I remember I was at a friend's house who was a big hockey guy. I was late in life. It was when I was in third grade, and he was playing hockey in the street. I was like, "Oh, teach me how to play." I never played hockey, so he had me as a forward. I couldn't shoot. I was really small. He goes, "Here's a glove. Go stand in goal." Loved it. And I went home that one day, and I was like, "Dad, I want to play goalie." He looked at his bank account and almost had a panic attack. But he goes, "All right, fine." So I went to Play It Again Sports. That's where I grew up. Everyone in Long Island knows what Play It Again Sports is. Got my first set of pads, equipment. And then from there on out, I was just obsessed. I became obsessed watching every Islander game. I'd miss family functions for preseason games. I was playing at BMRH, which was a local rink in Belmore Merrick. It's an outdoor rink. Started there when I was 8. Played there until high school. And then I got into ice a little bit later. I started ice in 7th grade, actually. So my first year I had to play down, and it was just house league. My big goal, though, was playing high school hockey. I knew I was barely 5 feet in middle school, a little over 5 feet starting high school. I knew everyone wants to go play in the NHL. I knew it wasn't happening for me. But I had a goalie coach named Chris Testa, who's a Long Island guy. And I said, "Listen, I want to play high school. Help me." And I would go before high school, I would be late to English class every day because I'd get at the rink at like 5 o'clock in the morning from 5 to 6:30, be on the ice. And, I just kept grinding away at it. And actually, oddly enough, and I'm not going to throw their name out there, but the JV coach for the Bulldogs, me and my dad went to go talk with him. And I said, "Hey, I want to play." And he goes, "Listen, we're not interested in short goalies. We're good." And I was like, "Oh, F that." That is, now I have something. I always had, I was a smaller guy. I always had to fight for whatever. I said, "All right, I'm just going to go try
extra chip now, though."
Right. Oh, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I understood. I knew what I was. I knew I was small, that people wouldn't look at me and think he could play. So I remember my freshman year and sophomore year, I tried out for varsity, knowing I wasn't going to make it. Didn't make it. Finally, junior year made it. Played junior and senior year, and then after that, I just played roller hockey, which is what was my first love anyway, and I was much better at it. But yeah, man, it was. I love playing hockey on Long Island. It's roller hockey, especially, is just. It's always been big on Long Island. I think it might be even bigger than ice. But I had a great time. And like I said, everyone doubted me in hockey, and so I'm glad I got to play and get to play as high as I did. And I still get to play roller hockey now every 2 to 3 times a week when I can with the schedule. But yeah, Long Island, good time growing up playing hockey. And of course, having the Islanders 15, 20 minutes away at the Coliseum made life very easy.
It's funny you said, I want to go back. It's funny you said the Mike Pekka mini stick, because I know somewhere in my basement I have a Mike Pekka bobblehead from that probably 2001, 2002 season. So that's absolutely amazing.
I wish it's in a drawer somewhere around my desk right now. But anytime I move, my parents just moved, and I was going through old stuff and I found it. And I remember the day getting in, and I was probably playing with my brother, not even looking at the game. And it was a cool experience. Again, they probably got killed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's those memories though, like you said, that help forge that love for the game that we all have.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And again, they were so bad when I was, first going to games but it was like a family thing. Me and my dad would go. to the point where when I was in high school, I would just go by myself. There were so many people from, you'd walk around the Coliseum, people from high school that you just see, and if you bought one ticket, you just hang with them for the rest of the game. But I remember going to playoff games by myself. Like, I didn't care. Like, yeah, I truly was so addicted that it became like a problem. But we find solutions. So there you go. Now I work in it, so no one can say like, "Oh, you can't go." Like, I got to be there.
Yeah,
I'm getting paid to watch. So jokes on all of you that I'm going to all these games. I'm like, I don't care. It's fine. I'll survive. Oh, you're missing this family event. Oops, my bad. Like, it is what it is. So it's a good time. I get out of a lot of things because of the schedule.
It's better to love what you do.
Exactly.
Now, you said that originally, like Mike Peck a Stick Night, like that was your first kind of experience that your dad brought you to, and then you said he fell out of it. Now, when you picked it back up after playing with your friend, did he also get back into it too? Like you dragged him back in?
Yeah, I gave him no choice. Like he'd bring me. We bought a net in the driveway, and he was out there every day shooting on me, and he taught me everything about. I mean, he wasn't a goaltender, but he taught me everything about goaltending. And then because I was so addicted, that became kind of our bonding thing. Me and my dad would go to the games together. My brother, he wasn't really he played sports, but he was more theater, that kind of thing. So like it would just be me and my dad. As many times during the week we could go. Now it's different, obviously, because I can't go and sit with him when he goes to games, and he just moved to outside of Tampa. But that was our thing. We'd watch Islander games together at home. Nowadays, like after every game when I'm driving home, I'll call him and we'll break down the room. He'll be like, "Oh, I heard your question on MSG or whatever." Like it's really cool the way it's, because again, when they fell out of it, I understood a lot of Islander fans his age. They were in such a high when they were winning the cups that I can't imagine. Like I've never seen them win. So for me, growing up, it was like, another day, another loss. Like that's Islanders hockey, baby. But for him, I couldn't imagine like how tough it was to watch. So yeah, it's been really cool for our bond. Having that when I first started playing hockey, now me working in it, I think he loves it that I do that and I get to do it for a living. And I also wouldn't be the fan I am without him bringing me to games and teaching me the ways. That's been really cool.
Yeah, no, I think all of us have absolutely that connection. I think all of us, our dads, our moms, someone in our family, like passed that love down to us, and like it's kind of cool. Like I'm glad Paul asked you that you kind of dragged your dad back into it. Like, hey man, they might not be good right now, but we're gonna be in this for the long haul together.
Oh yeah, and the friend actually that I played hockey with for the first time, he was a diehard Ranger fan. Remember when my dad, so when I was younger, he used to play, even if he wasn't watching every day, he played the NHL 04 on the computer, and he'd plug in the controller, and I wouldn't play when I was 5, 6. I would just watch him every night. Like before I went to bed, I'd watch him, and then for my birthday, I think I was 7. I said, "All right, it's my birthday. I want you to teach me how to play." And of course, I got really good and addicted at it, and I would start beating him, which would piss him off. But I remember my first ever franchise mode for NHL 04. I didn't know, like, I wasn't too much into it at that point. I hadn't started playing hockey yet. I was like, New York teams. I picked the Rangers. So my first ever franchise season, Anson Carter, Bobby Holik. But I never stuck with that. I forgot about that when I went to play hockey. I'm an Islander fan. Like I love these guys. Kyle Poso, I had a fat head of him, full body fat head on my wall. He is my favorite player. And I would miss family events or preseason games. And I know my parents, they could not drag me away. I was like, nope, I have to watch this. And I didn't suffer. I genuinely like watching hockey when they got bad. I'm like, these guys are on ice. Like I would find all the little things really cool. Like the noise of the skate. Like the skid stops to me. Like when I play the video game, like skid stop. Like that's cool to me.
Yeah.
It's like if someone plays GTA and stays in the line while they're driving. Like I just thought the little things, like the things like I'm a goalie, so I would always just like if I go to games, I just watch the goalie warming up, the slide. I mean, Jonathan Quick was my idol growing up. I wear 32 for him actually, just because it was so crazy. Like it's just hockey in general, just from other sports. Forget like how exciting it is to go to games. Just like the fact that these guys are on skates playing this game at 100 miles an hour still blows my mind. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing, and that's why we love the sport.
I love the way that you just broke that down, because like I've thought about it in that way so many times, and like I mean that's probably like I think about it sometimes like what I miss the most from when I was playing competitively, and it's like I miss that sound of the skates when you hear your name called for starting lineup and you're going goal line or blue line and you stop on the line. It's a quiet building and you hear the snow kick up, and like just those little intricacies of the game, like you said, that's why we all love it.
Right, it's like people talk about in baseball, like the sound of a ball hitting a mitt. Like for me, it's like puck hitting a glove, puck hitting the pad, tape to tape passing, and I'm so used. I mean, I see it every day, and then not that I'm ever feeling down or like my job. There's sometimes that it's stressful, but at the end of the day, it's like it's such a cool. Like, this sport is so cool, and there's so many different things. And then the locker room, it's just like I think for people that aren't hockey. Every time I talk to someone that's not a hockey fan, I'm like, "Oh, you a hockey fan? No, I don't like it. Well, have you ever been to a hockey game? No. Well, you better go because I've been to basketball, I've been to football, I've been to baseball. Even if it might even be better not knowing the rules when you first go, just get lost in it. I remember like the feeling of walking into the Coliseum every time I'd walk into the Coliseum and just look like no one will be there yet or people will be there, but the team, you just look up, look around. You're like, this is unreal. And then even for my job, every day that I walk into UBS, I'm like, I'm in a hockey rink. Like, this is great. Like the atmosphere, the vibes, whatever's going on in life, like I'm here. It's the same thing when I play hockey. Like it's the one or two times in my day where I just escape, put the helmet on, and it's like I have one job, stop a puck. And don't embarrass myself. I guess two jobs, don't embarrass myself. But no, like the sport of hockey it's given so much to me and my family. Like it's just I kind of look at it that perspective. Like it's everything about the sport I love.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more.
Now, you mentioned before that you had that one coach who kind of lit a fire underneath you. Was there anybody, coach or player, who had an adverse kind of effect where they inspired you, built you up, gave you a level of confidence you didn't know you had?
Yeah, so my goalie coach, and again, shout out to Chris Testa. He, again, a lot of people could have passed up on me. And he was also really honest with me. He sat down with me and my parents and said, listen, Stefen can go and play juniors. He's good enough to play. Forget the height. Like, he's good enough to play juniors, but every parent wants me to tell them that they can go to the NHL. So I'll be honest, he's not. But if he wants to be as good as he possibly wants to be, I believe in him. I'll work with him. And as long as he gives me the effort, we'll do what we can to get him to play varsity and accomplish what he wants to accomplish. And I think that honesty was important because my whole life was I want to be an NHL goalie. And if not, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. The fact that he was so honest early on, but also I knew my work ethic. You don't really, because of what I had to make up for height-wise and bullying, whatever, you deal with it and you move on. But all that stuff, that you want to achieve stuff for yourself. I was never doing it for I think the good thing about my dad not being into it is that he was never in any sport, baseball, hockey, tennis, whatever. He wasn't living through me. And I needed him, I was on the rink every day because I wanted it. And I've seen a lot of kids, especially Long Island, where sports are I see a lot of parents try to live through their kids to the point where they kill the fun for their kid. I remember doing a hockey camp at Sport Time. I don't know if you guys know of Sport Time. And they had a hockey camp, and it was an 8-hour, you have a lunch break for an hour, 8 hours a day. And my dad was still deciding whether or not he wants to pay the money for me to be a goalie. I remember one practice, took one right off the head. And I said, do it again. I was a psychopath. And he saw, he'd have to put, after 8 hours, 7 hours being on the rink, I would stay after with the coaches for another hour of them just shooting. I was so obsessed with getting better, learning, and just I wasn't really focused too much on long term. In that moment, I wanted more shots. In that moment, I wanted right. And that's when he was like, you know what? I'm willing to put the money because goaltending is expensive. I'm willing to put the money down. So I think it was a benefit for me that I brought my dad into it rather than the other way around. Because listen, being a goalie and spending money and it's really expensive. If I didn't love it, and he just kept saying get on the ice at 5 o'clock. To get on the ice at 5 o'clock in the morning, then have to go deal with high school. I don't remember how painful high school was, but I know I hated high school. I could have said oh, this sucks, and just gone out there and lollygag. He didn't have to wake me up to go play and get ready for in the car at 5:30. I was there. I was ready to go. I was up stretching and doing all that stuff. So yeah, for that reason, I think it's important for a lot of parents to let their kid. You could push them, of course. I'm an Islander fan because my dad was. It was painful at times in my life, but we move on. Jet fans, same thing. Ranger fans at this point now. We're the fans of the sport because of our parents, but we have to have our own love for the game. Because if we don't have the own love for the game, then we feel like we have to do it for our parents, and that puts a lot of pressure on a lot of these kids now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you said it earlier as well. Just seeing how much time is spent on the ice at such a young age, sometimes can be a negative and can lead to, like you said, where it's burnout and they just don't want to do it anymore by the time they're a teenager because they've been on the ice 6-7 days a week at 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, and it's just they're burnt out, they're tired. And
the sad part is they got so good.
Yes,
they're elite players that I've seen just walk away.
100%.
And injuries aside, there are people that get hurt more so in baseball or But like, it's sad because they're so good and they don't like it anymore. Like they did it for their parents their whole life, and now it's like, I want to go to college, or I'm going to go play juniors. Like, I don't want to leave my friends. I don't want this that bad. And listen, if I want, there are times where do I go on the rink or do I go play with my friends? And I will 100% admit that I went and played with my friends.
Yeah.
Would I have been a lot better if I didn't do that? Yeah, but also I would have lost out. Like, there's a lot of sacrifices. And even my job now, like, I love every day, but with my fiance, she's a teacher Monday through Friday, like, and I'm away on weekends or with games. Like, you have to have a partner and a family that supports you, because I miss Halloween every year. I miss New Year's usually. I miss a lot of family events, and I don't like missing them. But you have to be willing to have someone. There's a lot of sacrifice, and I'm not going to pretend here like it sucks. Like, it doesn't. Again, I'm living the dream, doing what I do, and I love every day of it. But with like hockey players, like, they're gone from their families a lot. So you got to be able to love. You have to really love what you're doing. But same thing with playing. Like, you better love it to the point, because if you're going to go play juniors or do all that stuff, like, it's a lot of money, time, and effort you're putting into that. And if you don't really want it, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, one of our coworkers, Kevin Broderick, he's a senior at Stony Brook right now. He's doing a capstone project essentially based around the affordability of hockey on Long Island. And he spoke with Paul and I about it, because Paul and I have very unique, different routes. I did go that junior hockey route and then played NCAA hockey. And as you said, that was my dream. That's what I wanted to do. I realized I wasn't going to make the NHL, but I was like, NCAA is my goal, and I was able to achieve that. My parents' family made a lot of sacrifices in order for me to do that, in order for my younger brother to also do that. Paul, on the other side, didn't have the opportunity to play ice hockey growing up. Paul was, I call him all the time, the legendary ball hockey player.
There you go.
But no, honestly, this is a good transition to my next question, because you said you earlier just said that, like, if you had the choice between going to the rink or playing with your friends, you'd often play with your friends. And I can honestly relate, like, from that standpoint. Not that I necessarily had the choice, but playing with my friends was like, that's where I grew my love for hockey. Like, it wasn't necessarily in these coordinated like games or leagues. It was going up to my local park, that Maple Park. I'm sure some people know of it, but they got a nice outdoor rink, and just like one guy would throw on the pads and we'd be out there for like 3-4 hours just like shooting around. And the affordability of that is huge. Right. Now, with my question, there's a long-winded way of getting there, but do you think that you like you liked or loved roller as much as you did because of its accessibility, and that you could just kind of whenever, like, I'm not sure about the park scene by you, but like really could just throw them on whenever you got free time?
Yeah, so I played so much hockey. Roller hockey was my first love. Again, affordability. It was cheaper for me to. My parents didn't know if I was going to love it. So let's get him into roller hockey. We had a local rink, BMRH, which is right off Newbridge, right where I grew up. Let's get him into that, see if he likes it. First time playing organized hockey, and I loved it. And then we actually had a JV and varsity roller team for my college that plays at Skate Safe. A lot of Long Islanders definitely know Skate Safe. I still play there 2 or 3 times a week. I have a game there Sunday, playoff game. But anyway, but my problem with my friends was that they always wanted me to come when we would play games and play goalie. But I had become such not a pro, but like, not playing goalie was work, but I played BMRH, which is a fun rec league. I played JV varsity roller on Friday nights. I played ice hockey varsity. Like, I didn't want to play goalie when I was with my friends. I wanted to play out. I wanted to feel scoring goals. Problem was, nobody wanted to play goalie. And for me, it was like, I don't want to lace up the pads. I don't want to do... With my friends, I was like, listen, guys, I play goalie so much. Like, if I'm playing with my friends, I want to play defense. I want to score goals. Like, I'm tired of that stuff. So I think the accessibility part for them, a lot of them didn't play. All my friends that would play in those fun pay games didn't have the finances to play ice. Even roller, most of them played just deck, ball, whatever you want to call it. So that for them, that was the only time they played. So even with that, my biggest thing is that I won't play deck on feet. I have to be on skates. That's just my thing. Like, one, stamina, I didn't have it. And number 2, no offense to anyone that plays deck hockey or ball hockey, but to me, like, I need to be on skates for it to be hockey for me. And also, I love skating. Like, I ref just for the sake of me, just love skating around. Like, I love getting lost in that, the wind, all that stuff. So for me, it was like, yeah, my friends want to play. I'm not going to play goalie. And if you're on feet, I'm going to be on skates. So you better learn how to skate because I'm just going to push you. Like, I'll play defense if you don't want me to go up the rink because it's not fair, but like I'm going to be on skates. That's what I want to do. But yeah, accessibility is a huge thing. Roller hockey is cheaper. Ice hockey is really expensive. The sacrifice, again, timing wise too, like our league would be, it would be evenings every day during the week, depending on your age. But ice hockey, it's like, oh, you're practicing at 6:00 in the morning on a Saturday. My mom hates the cold, and she'd bring me to ice hockey because my dad would be sleeping, and she'd wait in the waiting area and try to watch me through the waiting area with a hot coffee. Like, no, I think it's a problem. And I think it's why a lot of, you're seeing on Long Island, lacrosse is becoming so big over roller hockey or ice hockey because all you got to do is buy a stick. You can practice that. It's cheap. Most teams are walk-on for lacrosse, especially in high school. I have a bunch of friends that went and played college lacrosse who were good at other sports, and they're like, "Oh, lacrosse is more money college scholarship-wise." But yeah, I think you look at I haven't looked at sticks nowadays. But like I usually buy goalie sticks in bulk off eBay or whatever. But like some sticks, like my goalie helmet was $1,000. My pads were $800. And I played against sports. My dad didn't buy me a new pair of anything really until I went and I was playing college club roller hockey at Cortland. Like that was my first time I ever had brand new pads. So I get it. It's expensive. I walk into these places now. I'm like, $600 for a stick that your kid's going to go out of in 5 minutes, or skates. Like I tell my cousin, I'm like, stop buying him new skates. Go to Play It Again Sports because in 8 months, those are not going to fit. I know you want him to have the coolest new stuff, and I get that, but it's really expensive. I think it deters parents away. I really do.
100%. I mean, when I was in college, I worked at Pure Hockey for 2 years, so I saw it firsthand, absolutely. And I mean, I graduated college almost 3 years ago now, and I was in Pure Hockey like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, wow, these prices have really jumped since I last was in a Pure Hockey.
It's sick. Again, and I don't even look at the goalie stuff anymore because I need new stuff soon, and I'm like, oh, God. I don't want to. Like, I just feel like I don't want to add to the problem because if I pay it, then not that everyone's going to stop, but if people are going to keep complaining all you want, but if you continue to pay the prices, they're not going to lower them.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my skates the other day, and I'm like, these aren't looking too hot. I'm going to need a new pair soon. Yeah. I don't know if I want to fork up the dough for it.
Oh, and again, like people that are kind of afford it, it's great. And that's the problem too, is like the kids that parents can afford the private lessons, and like they're usually the ones that are going to be the better player. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you can afford to, it's also travel hockey, and this, it's so political. Like when I started, and this is not a shot at the Arrows, like I get how it works, but I went to tryouts. I played 1 year of practice goalie for the goals. I tried out for a bunch of different travel teams when I was a junior in high school. Again, later than most, and I definitely was the best goalie at this certain tryout. And I didn't get one of the contracts. And I asked them, they're like, well, this goalie's been in the system for 10 years, so we're going with him. And again, I felt awful. Like I was really bummed out. I played pretty well. I knew I outplayed him at the tryout, but it's political. So for a lot of kids, too, like it's great that you have the money when you get to high school, but if you didn't start when you were 5, which again is crazy, like 6U or whatever, like you don't get into the system, then you probably have a really slim chance of playing. So that's the sucky part of it. And again, like it's why drop all that money when they're 6, 7, 8 years old. But that being said, if you really think you want your kid to go play high level travel or college, like you got to start young. And at that point, it's like 14, 15 grand a year for a 5U or whatever it is. Like to me, that's sickening. Like my kid will be on skates at 2. But we're not doing that, especially if he's a goalie, which I don't know. I got to see if I want him to go that route. Most places need goalies, so there's free scrimmages, free clinics. Like, I think that played a huge part for me as well. Like a lot of it was free. Most of the men's league teams that I play on, they front the goalie. So I'm blessed in that regard.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with a buddy of mine who doesn't really know hockey that well. I'm like, yeah, now like we're older and it's like men's league. It's like you're always looking for goalies. So like goalies are free. Like goalies are always free.
I'm on the goalie filling list. Again, in season it's very tough for me. But like if I'm like, I'm home for a week, I'm not away, and they need to go fill in goalie, I'm like, I'm there. I'll be there. I'll play 11 o'clock at night. I don't care. I literally like a kid in a candy shop every time I step on the rink. I really don't think people that play other sports understand it. It's just a different sport. It's a passion, but it's an escape, and you can brag about hockey all day long.
And I mean, I'm glad you kind of brought up other sports as well, because I've tried to explain this so many times to other people about like the grind it takes to get to upper levels of junior hockey, and then if you want to play NCAA hockey, whether it be Division I or Division III, how difficult that is. And I've always tried to break it down in terms of like, all right, there's this many teams, and this many roster spots. Now do that math for me. All right, now Google how many Division I basketball teams there are,
Right.
and the roster spots. Or you can even go soccer team, because that's probably closer in roster size. And Google how many soccer programs are at the NCAA 1, 2, and 3 level. It's like quadruple, 5 times the number. It's like there's so many more opportunities to play soccer in college than there are hockey. It's very time consuming. You have to make a lot of sacrifices.
They got 40 scholarships for like so I went to SUNY Cortland, and their football team is good, but they have a hockey team. And I was just asking the coach when I was visiting, how do I get on the team? Like, is there tryouts? He goes, you can't even walk on. And they're also getting guys from overseas.
Yep.
Too. Like the junior players that come over, or the other players, like they have a lot of freshmen that are 22, 23 years old. Not that I had a chance, but it's like those guys grinded and playing overagers to then go and play D3. Like you don't have a chance.
Yeah,
as a walk. Even the club team, like if you don't make the actual team and you play club, these guys are like in their early 20s. You're barely 18. You have no shot. They already have 4 or 5 years of junior experience. So it's a tough environment out there. You got to be really good, and like there are undrafted guys that obviously go to the NHL, but it's you get lucky. It's got to be right place, right time. Injury usually that gives you the chance, like Marshall Warren, Long Island native, who I think you know, right?
Yeah, I know Marsh pretty well.
Gets in there, a really cool kid. Gets in there, gets 2 assists in a game, and now shows that he could be a promising guy. And he was drafted by the Wild years ago, and he's 24, but he's 24 now.
Yeah.
So listen, you gotta love it to continue to do it, and credit to him because he's a great kid, great guy, very confident. I don't know how guys like that have the mental fortitude to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. He's played so much AHL, played some ECHL. Like, it's got to be tough.
Definitely. 5 years of college hockey.
He played 4 years at BC, then 1 year at that year for him at Michigan was huge. I think he scored a big goal in the Frozen Four, was it?
Yeah, it was the semifinal, yep.
Yeah. Great family, too. I got to meet his mom, and, you root for those kinds of guys. But it's a grind from playing Long Island hockey and having to make a tryout team at age 6.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
It's nuts. And again, just that grind to get to, that NCAA level, that grind to get to, like Marshall just went through, that grind just to get that first taste of NHL hockey, 24 years old. He was drafted, 6-7 years ago. He's put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work. And like you said, you want to see people like that succeed and have those sacrifices that they and their families made rewarded. Right,
100%. Couldn't agree more.
So you talked about it a little bit there. You've mentioned your time at SUNY Cortland. You said you played roller hockey there. What was that experience like being on the roller hockey team? And I know you guys actually had a lot of success going to the national championship a couple times while you were there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I said, roller hockey was kind of I was good at ice, but I'm not tuning my own horn. I'm very good at roller hockey goal. I have these things called roller slides, which allow me to, as if I'm on ice, which I would not be playing roller hockey if I didn't have those, because I would go from ice hockey when I was a kid, and I'd keep the skates and everything on, and I go to roller hockey, and then I would drop down and be absolutely screwed because you can't move. And so when these first came out, I remember one of my friends was like, "Hey, you got to try these," and I tried them, and I was like, "Holy, this is ice hockey. I could T-push, I could slide, I could get the backdoor plays." So yeah, if those weren't a thing, I wouldn't be playing. But they allowed those in college, and for me, it was always I loved playing, but being part of a team was always the most important thing to me. I was overlooked a lot, which is fine. I was a quiet, shy kid. So if I wasn't playing, I had friends, but all my friends came from sports.
Yep.
And so when you're part of a team and you're all fighting for one goal, especially going to college, a brand new place, I was nervous. So I get on the team right away. It's tryouts. So they're not cutting me. They needed goalies, whatever. And I just remember my freshman year, loving it, playing. And then I became the president my sophomore year of the club. And that was really difficult for a couple of reasons. One, it's college. It's for SUNY Cortland. Everybody wants to drink and have fun. No one wants to go practice.
Yeah.
To plan the travels. But also being a sophomore, a 19-year-old, and having to run juniors, seniors, super seniors, masters people. They have to listen to you. So that was always tough. Not that they were disrespectful, but I don't feel like I'm in a place where you should be. I'm 19, and I'm telling you guys how to live and go to. It's tough. But at the same time, it was really cool because some of my closest friends now, Colkin, we talked about, shout out to Brendan, he's a couple of guys, they're my best friends. I would never, if I didn't go and play in school, they were what made college fun. We were away every weekend. That's the fun part too. I can't remember very few games can I actually remember. Like my last game ever was right before COVID hit. We were in regionals and went to triple overtime. We ended up losing, and it was on my birthday. That's the only game I remember because I remember the backdoor goal that went in finally in triple overtime. I think I made it was like 4-4 or 4-3 we lost. I think I made 60 plus saves, and I just remember, I'll never forget the backdoor. I got over, but it slipped between my arm and rolled in. And then I had to go to a hotel and get hammered in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, at a hotel bar for my 21st birthday. That's the only game I actually fully remember. But it was just the travel, the camaraderie, the eating meals together, the doing other stuff I'm not going to talk about here. Like, it was great. Yeah, that's what made it really fun and really. And in Cortland too, like I love Cortland. The weather was depressing. I met my fiance there, but it was a great time in playing hockey, and I'll never forget those trips. Like the 3-hour, 4-hour bus rides, like discovering Big Booty mixes for everyone that knows what those are. Like we discovered Big Booty 11 when on one of those trips. One guy played it, and that became like an anthem for us. And that's my favorite Big Booty mix. Still, I could do every word of that. That's the one that begins with The Office.
Yep.
So like that became a huge thing. It was. I wish I remembered more of it, to be honest, because it was just like for me. I've been out of college. Oh geez, I graduated college in 2020 during COVID. I didn't actually graduate. We never actually had a graduation because of COVID. But I've been out of it. I get the Snapchat alerts like 10 years ago today for freshman year. I'm like, stop, turn phone off. Like it's absolutely disgusting. But no, it was a great time.
Now, like, was it at any point during Cortland where you realized or had the thought where, like, I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life? Like, whether it be playing, like, I don't know if there's any paying roller hockey leagues out there, but, like, being involved in sports, hockey in particular, like, did you know the kind of path that you wanted to take, or you just were like, let's see how it goes?
Yeah, so when I applied to SUNY Cortland, I applied to be in the sport management program. I had no idea what sport management was. I actually thought it was called sports management. And my first day ever, intro to sport management, he called me and says, "What's this major's name? Like, what's it called?" And I said, "Sports." And I got ripped a you-know-what.
Yeah.
How are you in this? Everyone thought it was sports. No one really knew it. And I just got ripped. I'll never forget that it's sport management. But my mindset was, I'm either going to go play hockey at school or I'm going to go and find a way to be in a career in hockey. That was just what I thought. And at first, I got into Quinnipiac, and I really wanted to go there. I knew I wasn't going to play that, but they had an amazing broadcasting program. And the money, I even got a big scholarship, but it was just so expensive. And then I got waitlisted at Syracuse, which I was bummed about. And so I toured Cortland. I didn't think I was too smart for Cortland, but it's a much different school than Syracuse is. And I tried really hard in school for good grades and stuff. Then I got into Cortland. I was like, I'm a sport management major. I went in with a lot of credits from high school that I could graduate in 3 years. But I'm like, I don't want to leave school after 3. So I picked up a minor in communications, but I didn't know what I want to do. Coaching, scouting. I had no idea, but I took one writing class and one podcasting class and said, that's it. I love it. This is what I want to do. And I interned at NHL Network. I realized I wanted to write, and I don't have any writing background, but I just loved connecting with. I love talking about sports and writing. I just use my talking voice. It's kind of how I look at it. So I DM'd as many Islander blogs as possible, and I think I DM'd like 10. There were so many of them. One got back to me, and that allowed me finally got me. I was unpaid, but it was during school. Again, I'd be that kid who I'd be live tweeting to nobody. Remember that my fiance, it's like 2018. She goes, you should start a Twitter. I didn't have Twitter. No idea what Twitter was. She's like, yeah, if you want to, you should probably start this. Like, bless her for that, because that's changed everything for me, social media. But I just love live tweeting to nobody. I would stay in I'll meet them at the bar if the Islanders were playing, because I had to live tweet to nobody. I wanted to practice that. I wanted to build the brand and stuff. And I fell in love. I got addicted to it. I've had to really work on closing the computer. So I want to talk to as many fans as possible. I want to be on top of things. I want to be relied upon in 24/7, but it affects personal life for sure. It's already talked about the sacrifice and stuff. You got to be in the moment. 7 o'clock at night, after this, having hibachi dinner, watching a movie. I got to turn phone out, because if I get an alert, I'm gonna want to respond or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fell in love with the field, and I didn't know if it was sustainable because COVID hit, and once COVID hit, I was like, teams are realizing they don't have to hire as many people for jobs. I had an internship with the Binghamton Devils at the time. That was their AHL affiliate. And I did that so my senior year, we didn't have class. It was just interning. So every weekend we'd have to drive to Binghamton, me and my friend Brendan Azoff, who's my close friend who played hockey with me at Cortland and still one of my good friends. We'd go to Binghamton, it'd be great. And then COVID hit, and we went home for spring break and never went back. The internship was canceled. So me and him actually were like, we got to do something to boost our resume. So we signed up for the scouting course where I didn't become a scout, but I could take a test to become a scout. But for me, it was like, if I could see everything from a scout's point of view, I could probably be a better writer or better talk, whatever it is. Help me out at whatever. So I take the class. Again, I never took the actual scouting class, but I learned a lot. But yeah, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to make it work money-wise because this is an industry where newspapers are dying. People don't really read. Our age demographic sucks when it comes to that. And now with the emergence of podcasts and video, whether I do a walkout video or I do a Q&A, with fans, like a Twitter space, like that's how you connect. And that's kind of what's allowed me to kind of grow and get the jobs. Like I got the job at the Hockey News and at .com because of my following. And I've been able to launch this Elmonders, the Substack, which is a subscription site, which has allowed me to like pays for all my travel. And then some, and I'm hopefully a couple of years down the road, like that's my main source of income. So to go all the way back to your question, Paul, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, and the power of social media and stuff like that, like it's kind of allowed me to live my dream, which is I can't speak enough about like if you have a passion, pursue it. Because my thing was like at the end of the day, if it wasn't going to work, at least I wanted to look back and be like I gave it 110%. It didn't work. And, like, that's fine. It didn't work, but I gave it all I got. Like, it could be over tomorrow. And I really don't take any of it for granted. But I have a couple of friends who were in that major with me that COVID hit, and they were like, I'm going into finance. Or I'm doing – I didn't blame them either. I get it. Like, you got to pay bills. Like, I'm very fortunate that my parents were really supportive, especially, like, out of school living with them. But, like, I understood it. But in my head, I was like, I can't quit this. It's what I want to do so much. And there's been years, even a couple of years ago, where it's like – kind of need a full-time job right now. Like it's not working. And I said, I'm just going to stick. Like, people were telling me, yeah, you should probably quit. Like the odds are not in your favor. And every time I would get ready to quit, I'd be like, I can't quit. Like I feel like I'm right there. Maybe that was false hope at that time where I was like, there's no signs that says this is going to work. And thankfully I stuck with it. And because like I do get to live my dream every day. And if I had quit, again, understandable for a lot of people. But I would say to any young person that thinks they can't do it, try. Give it all you got. Because when you're 23, 24, 25, I know there's so much pressure on making money and investing. And like that's the time in your life to do it. So go and do it. That would be my biggest advice. Go for whatever your dream is and don't worry about the money for now. You'll figure that out. But had I missed out on it and it was in whatever field, like, I don't know, construction, not knocking any other field, but if I was watching someone else live out this dream, I'd be like, damn, like that maybe I could have given another year or so. So that would be my best advice. Like just go for it. If you really have a passion for it, do it until you can. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something I heard in the locker room a lot when I was growing up and like in college and stuff. It's like, you don't want to regret this, boys. And it's like, that always stuck with me. And it's like, you don't want to live your life with regret. And it's like, you clearly made a decision, there, right then and there where you said to yourself, if I stop this, then I might have a piece of regret. You just said it, I might see somebody else in that position and think, what if?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I wouldn't have been suicidal, but I would have been really upset. Like couldn't live with myself for not doing it. Because again, there are people that work and go to work every day and work a 9 to 5 and hate their lives. And I always told myself, one, with my ADD, I don't think I could sit at a desk for that. But number two, like I would hate that. And again, I understand I'm in a point where very few people get to do what I do. So like, I don't think it was ever like, I could do this. It was just like, I don't want to ever do that. I love this stuff. Let me see if I could do it. Like, I'm just not going to stop. And again, like I said, there's been a lot of times where it's like, pull the plug, Stefen. Like, you can't. I mean, you could do this as a hobby. I've been told so many times, just do it as a hobby. Like, which again, like at the end of the day, if I could still do NHL.com as a hobby and go to home games, like I'd live with that. But in my head, I was like, I don't want to do anything else. So if I can make it, let's get it done, boys, and let's find a way to do it. And whatever I got to do to it, let's get it done. And I'm so glad that I did that because one, I want to be talking with you guys, Travis Quigley and Paul. No last name Paul. No, but also like I've met so many amazing people. Like I grew up a Dire Islander fan, and I cold turkeyed it. And I listened to Kinger on the radio every day, and then I'm eating dinner with Kinger every day. Brennan Burke's become a good friend. The players in the room, like I'm very close with Matt Martin now. Like he's a guy that I grew up not idolizing because no offense to Bam Martin being a fourth line guy, we could joke about it all the time, but like, yeah, of course that's not who I was idolizing, but like when I got in the Islanders room, the Josh Baileys, the Brock Nelson, the Cizikas, the Lees, the Pulaks, Pevliks, Martins, like I grew up idolizing these guys. And then I get in the room and it's like there. And not only that, like I'm shooting the shit with them. Like today we're talking to Barzal, like just shooting the shit with like, what? I would have pinched myself. Like, no way. Or talking to goaltenders and like breaking down. Patrick Waugh is the head coach. And again, we weren't old enough to watch him play. But like,
Patrick Waugh.
I'm going to talk to Patrick Waugh. Not only going to talk to Patrick Waugh, but he calls me Stefen. And I'm like, Stefen. And I'm like, what is this? Even me and Lou had our moments when Lou would go at me and press her. Like, whatever, it's fine. Like, it's Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah.
Like, it's the job's fun. But it's the other stuff that comes with the job that you don't even think about. Like, oh, I want to write and be a beat reporter and be relied upon for information. But, like, going in the locker room and shooting the shit. Ethan Sears, the New York Post, and Andrew Gross. Like, they're two of my best friends that I talk to all the time. Andrew Gross is like my dad. Like, when we go on the road, like, he takes you under his wing. Here's where to go to get in. Here, let's go out to dinner. Give you advice. Like, Brian Compton, who's one of my mentors. Like, there's the hockey world is, I know there's a lot of knocks on that. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go on off the rink or the Hockey Canada stuff where there's such a bad rep on the hockey culture. But from where I sit every day, like everybody when I was trying to, learn about the industry, I would call so many people or message so many people and everybody would get back to me. And they'd give me, Molly Walker gave me an hour on the phone. Andrew Gross gave me an hour on the phone. Maybe one person maybe got him on a bad day. But like, it's such an amazing feel. That's why for you or anyone that reaches out to me, like, I talk to I'll get on the phone with you and talk to you about, I'll answer any questions you want because, again, I didn't have the writing background. I didn't go to the big-time Syracuse, big-time Michigan, whatever. I didn't go to any big-time school. I have no writing background. I'm just a guy that worked really hard at a social media following and just loved what I did to the point where I think that comes off. I hope it does at least when people read or they see my stuff. Like, people want to support you for that. And that's the coolest thing about the job is the interaction with the fan base. Like, I'm nowhere without the fans. When I first started in the following, whatever, and like the following grows exponentially once you give them information they need. But like just the interaction with the fans and the following that I've been able to get, like that's all from their support. So I am so thankful for anyone that's ever supported me, everyone ever that liked a tweet, liked the story, because now I get to run a subscription-based site because people are paying for me and my content, and that's the most rewarding thing.
Yeah, and I love that you talked about, the steps that it took for you to get there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a straight line the entire time.
Not
You faced a lot of adversity. It was an uphill battle to get to the point where you're at today. And, you had to grind, battle, people telling you, hey, maybe this is just a hobby, Stefen. Maybe this isn't a full-time gig. And, kind of back to when you were in high school playing hockey.
I was just going to say, it was being told like you're not good enough is not that you need that, but it certainly doesn't hurt in terms of wanting to pursue it more. Like hockey, like I was told so many times, like, you're never going to do anything. Stop. Like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, why? No. Now I want to beat your team if I play you or whatever it is. Or I'm going to always prove that you're wrong. So with this industry, like it's tough. It could end tomorrow for me. Like, who knows? I hope not. I hope I at least go to as long as this podcast comes to come out. But seriously, like I truly try to live in the day because it is a dream. And if it does end whenever, at least I could look back and be like, I did what people told me I couldn't do. Again, no background in the writing. And that's not like, I'm not people that put in the time and effort to have the journalism background and go to school for broadcasting. Yeah, 100%. You don't have to. If you have a passion for it and you have the drive for it and you're willing to do things for free and give it your all, like, you can make it. It's not that you have to go to the biggest school, because like we're talking about how expensive hockey is. Private schools are really expensive. Even I know SUNY schools are cheap, but not everyone like has family support. You go to community college and do this. Like, you can do it. You don't even have to go to college to do this. Just have a passion. Be willing to, like, when a door closes, don't just sit in the room and cry. Go find whatever door, like, break the door down. Like, that's what you got to do. Because my biggest thing too is like, and again, I've cut it down, but I would write 4 or 5 articles a day. I'd be on Twitter 24/7 because my mindset was, if I'm not giving 100%, somebody else is. And if they're giving 100% and I'm not, I'm behind the 8 ball. And that's kind of just my mentality. So even in hockey, like, I know I have to make up for certain, like, I can't control my height. My parents, everyone, I'm the tallest in my family at 5'9". It's terrible. But like, if I'm not working my tail off, someone's going to pass me because I have to work that extra harder. So I think it's a drive. It's like hard work. I think you're either born with it or not. But I get, like, my dad was always a hard worker. My brother was always I'm a twin as well, which pushed me. He's very smart, much smarter than me. And I always had to, like, really grind to get close to his grade. So we always had that rivalry. But yeah, if you have a passion and a drive, like, just give it all you got. And it sounds cliche, but it worked. At least it worked for me.
Now, I just want to, like, I want to now recognize. So you had your moments where you were in college. You'd tell your friends, "Oh, I'll meet up with you later. I got a live tweet to nobody on the Islander game." And then you were just sharing with us how you're shooting the shit with Barzal, Lee, all these people in the locker room. Now, there's some space missing in there. Do you remember, or was there like a defining moment where you kind of had like your big break, where like you first kind of caught fire and like never really looked back from there?
Remember the first day I ever walked into the Islanders locker room, and imposter syndrome is something that I've battled a lot because it's very easy to tweet line rushes. It's very easy to report what you hear, and I'm like, why is it me? Like, why? I mean, at times I got to look back and be like, I put in the work to get there, but until this year, really, and I get it sometimes every now and again, but like, why is it me? I'm not doing anything special. But so my first day walking into the room, because when I first started, it was COVID still with the Zooms and everything like that. And I walked into the Islanders room, and Ilya Sorokin was maybe first or second year, I can't remember. And I said to him, what'd you work on this summer? And in his broken English, he said, "Stop puck." And I tweet that out, and it blew up. I mean, like, all the accounts had it. They were getting shirt. Like, it blew up. And I was like, all right, this might be it. Like, this might be it. And then you write the stories. And I don't know if there was any moment. Oh, so I'll tell you one quick story here. I'm in Pittsburgh, and we're waiting online to talk to players, and I'm waiting to talk to Matt Martin. And again, I always had a love talking to him. He's always honest. And I'm waiting, there's 6 or 7 people in front of me. And finally it's my turn, and Matt just goes, "What do you want, Rosner? What's up?" And that was the first time I'd ever heard them refer to me by name. And I was like, it was one of those, that was probably my I made it moment. Like, not only they see me every day. They know who I am. But then, like, when a player calls you by your name, that always means extra because that means they're paying attention. Like Barzal calling me Rosner or Stefen or Rock calling me Stefen. Like, I remember the first time Lane Lambert called me by my name, and I was like, that is the cool. I know Lane struggled with the Islanders, but like, I was like, that's awesome. And I even went to Lane before the end of his tenure, and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I know it meant nothing to you, but I want to appreciate it. I just want to say. And he goes, "Oh, really?" I'm like, yeah, you have no idea. Like, we don't care. Like, I'm not looking for, oh, wait, like, look at me now. But it was more of those, like, you're there. You're there. Yeah. They acknowledge you. And that's been cool because now a lot of the guys know me. I've been there for 4 years now. Rosner, Stefen, Roz, whatever. I don't care what you call me. Roast me. I don't care. But, like, that's the cool part is, like, you now, they're not friends with you. They're never, like, friends. But there's a respect factor now where you've been here long enough where, like, and that gives me confidence in the room. If they're like, "Hey, Rosner, what's up?" Or they're talking about the Almonters, or they're joking with you or roasting you, like me and Riddick. Like, he roasts me every day. Like, and it's great. It's all for it. Like, I was bullied in high school, and that sucks, but, like, I'll take this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? It's different.
I'm glad you said respect because it's, like you said, it's that acknowledgement, that respect, and now over this time, that camaraderie has been built where you can be roasted and you kind of give it back a little bit, I'm sure, too.
Oh yeah, I roast Riddick back, and he's like, "You want to go to war?" I'm like, "We'll go to war. Let's go." Like, he'll call me out for a tweet I made about him in goal, and it's just like it's cool because a lot of these guys, like I said, I've been here forever, and now with the young guys coming in, I'm younger. I mean, Schaefer's 10 years younger than me, which is absolutely disgusting. But like, nuts. I connect with these guys, and I'm also starting with them. So like, they're gonna be here for 10 plus years. Like, I've been here. It's cool to grow. I've grown a lot with the guys in the room, and also I'm now growing with this new wave. And so it's really cool. It's really special.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. I mean, it's very cool to see, like you said, like your journey. You roller hockey guy, you got into ice hockey right? A little bit later in life. You know, I love that you still play roller hockey as much as you can a couple of times a week. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And like, again, like you said, I think it's very important for people to realize, you don't necessarily have to study something in college. You don't have to be on a straight and narrow path that you're necessarily told and defined that you got to do. Like, you carved out your own path. You took a class and fell in love with something, and then took the steps necessary, fought the adversity, and continued to forge your own path, kicking doors down along the way. I mean, it's very important, I think, for especially those younger kids, those high school guys, middle school guys that are still kind of trying to figure out what direction they want to go, to understand that not everything's a straight arrow path. You know, you're gonna face a lot of those battles when you're going uphill, and it's how do you respond? And you know, I think your story is a good one for people to look at in the sense of positive responses to that adversity. And you know, even when the chips are down, you kept, you know, the horns down and kept moving forward. So it's congratulations to you, Stefen, for all your success, man. I mean, it's awesome to see. I mean, I know myself personally, I'm an Islanders fan. I go to you for all the news. I look for your tweets and stuff. So I appreciate all the coverage that you provide. And again, just like really appreciate the time tonight.
No, I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting me tell my story. Thanks, Travis, Paul. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
So everyone at home, please make sure you follow Stefen on social media. Make sure you subscribe to the El Monters for that exclusive Islanders coverage. He has it all. He does not miss a beat. Make sure you follow us on social media, LI Sports Network. You can listen to Rinks and Realities on Spotify and YouTube. Want to thank our producer, Wally Mitchell. Our guest tonight, Stefen Rosner. On behalf of Paul Trentini, I'm Travis Quigley. Another episode of Rinks and Realities done. We'll be back next week.
Or were you like attending a game where it really kind of hit you?
I think for me, it was just the accumulation of all of it together, whether that be just each day kind of wanting to come back, just enjoy feeling on the ice.